If you're starting Albion Online and don't know what to play, this is the only build you need to get started. This build is cheap, it's strong from level 1, and it works in both PvE and PvP as you progress. In this video, I'm going to show you the build and explain how it works so you don't get stuck or waste time playing something ineffective. I've noticed that most new players pick random gear, follow outdated builds, or switch too early, and that's exactly why they feel stuck. You don't need 5 different builds and you don't need to constantly switch things around. What you need is one build that actually works. And this is that build. This is a dual swords build you can start using immediately. The reason it's so strong for beginners is because it already has everything you need. Unlike most other builds, you don't need to grind for hours to unlock abilities. You already have the core abilities from the start, and everything else is optional and situational. You also don't need high item power. This build is effective from tier 4 and you can get a lot done with a simple 4.1 or 4.2 set. That means you can start using this build immediately and it already feels good to play. On top of that, this build has a lot of mobility and sustain. You can engage when you want, disengage when you want, and chase people down when you need to. You're not getting forced into bad fights with this build. You decide when and where fights happen. In PvE, the sustain lets you keep going without having to skip mobs or important bosses. Those two things alone make a huge difference for new players. It's also very flexible. You can use this build in solo open world roaming, Roads of Avalon, Mists, corrupted dungeons, solo camps, and PvP fights without needing to change your entire build. And because it's cheap, you can run this build without worrying about losing a lot of silver. Now let me show you how it actually performs and what you can expect when you start playing it yourself. With this build, you survive hits that would normally kill you. You always have a way out. You can create distance whenever you need to. You decide when to go back in. Once they run, you chase them down. You don't have to skip fights or important bosses. You deal damage while staying safe. You shut down dangerous abilities. And you just keep going. So why does this actually work? The way you play this build is very simple. You build up your stacks, look for a good moment to engage, and if the fight doesn't go your way, you use your mobility to reset and go again. You're not trying to force every fight. If it's bad, you reset. If it's good, you commit. That's the core idea. And because you always have mobility, you're not getting stuck in bad situations. You decide when fights happen and when they don't. That's what makes this build so consistent. And in PvE, it's just as simple. You keep your damage going, stay healthy through sustain, deal with dangerous abilities, and move from fight to fight without slowing down. Now to make this even more effective, there's one important thing you need to understand. This build stays mostly the same, but you can adjust small parts of it depending on what you need. Let me show you the setup. On your weapon, you're using dual swords. This weapon already has everything you need from the start, so you can pick it up early and immediately be effective. For your chest piece, you're using the mercenary jacket. This is what gives you your sustain and survivability, which is why it feels so safe to play. For your helmet, this is where you can swap depending on what you need. If you want more control in PvP, you can go for the Fiend Cowl, a helmet that lets you remove enemy buffs instantly. If you want something easier and more consistent, you can go for the Mercenary Hood, a helmet that gives you damage, slows, debuffs, and interrupts. Try both and use what feels best for you. Your boots are what give you your mobility, letting you reset fights, reposition, and chase people down. For this build, you can go with Assassin Shoes for maximum mobility. If you want something easier or more forgiving, you can swap to any of the plate boots for more sustain. For your cape and consumables, you can keep it very simple. You don't need anything expensive here. Just use what's affordable and fits your playstyle. If you want to optimize it a bit more, you can go for options that give you extra damage or sustain, but it's not required to make this build work. Personally, I like to run damage and health regen food, along with healing potions since they fit the build really well. For my cape, I usually go with something that adds a bit of extra damage. For your abilities, keep it simple. On your primary, go with Heroic Strike to build your stacks and keep your mobility. On your secondary, take Blade Cyclone for damage and mobility. This is your standard option, and it works well in most situations. For your passive, go with Deep Cuts for more damage. On your chest, use Bloodlust as your main ability for sustain. If you need more defense in certain PvP situations, you can swap to Inferno Shield instead. For your helmet, on the Fiend Cowl use Purge, and on the Mercenary Hood use Howl. Both are strong options depending on what you need. And for your boots, go with Refreshing Sprint as your standard. If you need more mobility to stick to targets, you can swap to Swift Cut instead. For your armor passives, just go with the damage options. Now that you know how the build works, let me walk you through a few fights so you can see how to actually play it. I built up my stacks here so I get the movement speed. Use them up as well to stack faster. Now I purge him so he loses his speed. And here I just focus on getting out. Reset the fight and then I can go again. Now I go back in while he's still low. This time it's on my terms. He tries to get away here, but I can stay on him. And this is where the mobility really matters. I just keep the pressure up and finish the fight. In this one, I see him dismount, so I go in right away. He's on cooldown, so this is a free window. I already swapped to Inferno Shield for this. He commits everything into me here, and this is where I turn it. I reflect all the damage back at him and take him down. And this is a fight I don't want to take. I've got a lot of silver on me already, so I don't force it. I just use my abilities to create distance and get out. And that's exactly what makes this build so reliable and consistent. And that's what makes this such a strong build to start with. It's simple, it's effective, it's cheap, and it teaches you how to actually play the game instead of just copying builds. If you stick with this and learn how to use it properly, you'll be able to handle most situations you run into. And from there, you can start expanding into other builds much more easily. If you haven't seen it yet, watch my Start from Zero guide. It shows you exactly how to build your first silver and progress fast using this very build. And if you have any questions or want help getting started, you can join my Discord. I'm active there and I help new players out all the time. I'll see you in the next one.